Black revolutionaries, distillery owners, Italian fashion retailers, and Motown Grammy winners all share their best stories never before told in any other media outlets on Detroit is Different. Visit DetroitisDifferent.com or download the Detroit is Different app on Apple's App Store or Google's Play Store.
All right, we are back. We are back in full effect in the Detroit is Different podcast studios. And right now, we actually done turned this into a lounge kickback. We got Lazar in effect with representing a couple different brands when it comes to the game of spirits and black folks getting into and have been into definitely distilling different liquors and also other beverages. We even got water in effect, all types of stuff. Lazar, how you feeling?
All is well. How you doing, my brother? How you doing?
Oh, man, everything is cool.
Happy Friday.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, man, you made a cool cocktail. People gonna see it throughout this video and everything.
Yeah.
We definitely enjoying the summer spirits.
Absolutely. That's that Duke and Dame and Nikki's ginger tea, man. That's a phenomenal mix. Nikki's ginger tea is out of Detroit. What up, Detroit? Mm-hmm. Detroit is different. For sure.
All right. Yes.
Goes well with that cherry apple ginger with that Duke and Dame salted caramel whiskey. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think I tried this before when I was over at Bert's Warehouse, supporting what Mike Bonner's been doing, along with Bert and Foolish.
Yeah.
Coco was out there, and they said, try some of this.
Yeah. Right? Shout out to them, man. They really supported us over there. We actually sponsored the month of April over there with Duke and Dame salted caramel whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a big deal for us. We got it on the mouths and palates of a lot of people over there. Some phenomenal shows over there. Coco represented heavy. Foolish represented heavy. Mike Bonner talked about it. Mike Bonner don't drink no more. Shout out to Mike for that. But it was great. It was a great time over there, man.
Yeah. I was. It was a cool kickback. You know what I'm saying? And definitely something big. And you all know that Detroit is Different is a hub supporting comedy and other forms of black performance, but definitely comedy. When we think of the Detroit is Different family over here, and those are some OGs.
OGs in the game.
We Josh J. Bell, Ron Taylor, Jeff Horst, Melanie Hearn. So many people interconnected to the family just from Josh.
Karen Addison.
Yeah.
All them cats, man. The big time. We love them.
Definitely. Yeah. So when we talk about Karen and other things, that naturally moves over to Griot and everything that Jane have been doing, and they fam been doing. But it's the black spirits. We know the black bars are big, but the spirits we go to and what we lean on. Now we know of a lot of black liquors.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think for me, I went out, I ventured out and on a journey. Like, let me find us. Let me see who we are and where we are, and let me connect with who we are and where we are. And also let me bring it back home and share these brands. I am a Michigan market manager for Uncle Nearest. Uncle Nearest premium whiskey, 1856, 1884, 1820, master blend. I mean, we're the fastest growing African-American owned spirit branded, period. Of all time,
Yeah, and so people know it's like the backstory is people know it's like, Jack Daniels was made by a black man.
Right, for sure.
Everything was made by some black people.
I think we that's the story forever, right? Yeah. It just so happened this story didn't get buried. This story got bottled. You know what I mean? It's one of them things, it didn't get buried, it got bottled. And I salute Fawn and our whole team over there. We doing some amazing things, and not just for the spirit industry, for Uncle Nearest, but for the spirit industry for those who are coming up. It's some things that we released this week I can't really talk about at the moment, but it's some major things that we released as far as supporting other brands, African American owned brands that are coming up that need our help and assistance, etc. So look out for that. That's coming soon.
Now with that being said, that kind of just lends us to the usual Detroit is Different discussion, and you've been on before, so let's start. We usually start with like what brought your family here and everything to Detroit, but now I'm just gonna go right into you. Go back in the archives of Detroit is Different and get the Lazar story from top to bottom. But let's start on this journey. How did you get into the promotion of liquors? You already have a connection to nightlife from promotions yourself, owning an establishment, managing different establishments. What led you into the world of saying like, all right, I want to represent liquors, but specifically black-owned liquor brands?
Facts. I think for me, it was one of them segues, right? I never wanted to do it with any brand that was already out, right? You know, those other brands that I just never want to do it. It was never on my agenda. But once I think how I got into it, me and my wife, we give a film festival, Detroit Trinity International Film Festival. It's our 15th year, and in 2018, early 2018, I think June, July. I got some information about Uncle Nearest.
And shout out your wife, Marshalle.
Oh, man.
Definitely another friend of the Detroit is Different family, too.
Yes, top flight.
And very creative.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. That's my goal. That's my gold. You hear me? So I reached out. I'm going to make the story short as possible. I reached out. I made the call. And when I called, I said, and they weren't, Uncle Nearest wasn't available in Michigan yet. And I said, I think the SVP picked up the phone. And I said, wouldn't it be great to introduce Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey at Detroit Trinity International Film Festival? And she said, absolutely. So they shipped me a couple products. And you know me, Kay, whatever I get that's black, and whatever I'm connected to, I'm going to support it and I'm going to push it just like it's my own. All day.
Now, let me ask you this, because it's different laws and liquor and all of that stuff. Because, you know, one of my friends, my brother in mine, not necessarily skiing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mike from the Detroit City Distillery. People know I'm always repping what they do. And I'm learning more about that business from him, like shipping liquor. Liquor has a lot of
man.
You know, it's not
restricted.
You know, it's not like a T-shirt business.
No, it's restricted. Like, you can't just ship it anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't just ship it anywhere. I think on behalf of distilleries, as far as samples and as far as entities that can receive liquor, that have liquor licenses, you can ship to those establishments. But you can also, and that was in 2018. So you know, when I received it, it came straight to my house. Had to sign for it. It's just like somebody sending a diamond ring to your house. You got to sign for it.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I think July, August, September, and October, they kind of product sponsored my events.
Wow.
And then in November, and I was fine with that. I knew that I wanted to support it, and it also prompted me to, because I had a space in the Fisher Building, down in a little bar down in there. It prompted me to, it just prompted me to search for more African American owned brands, because I knew they were out there. You know, you hear about the ones that are rappers, the rappers we love to talk about, but some of those things are not really, they're mostly the face of those things.
And we were going to unpack that, because that was one of the discussion points that we want to talk about too. Right. But it led you in a journey to say, okay, this can't be the only one.
This can't be the only one. So that one, so when they called me in November and was like, how do we strengthen our relationship? And I just said, come see me. You know how we do, we Detroited, so you got to come talk to us directly if you want to talk something different. So he came to see me. We established a relationship, and I'm very intentional about moving this brand and telling this story. The story is so impactful, man. I've told this story with Google, LinkedIn, Bedrock. I've told this story with our people. Every time I run into one of us, I'm telling this story. I did over, I think for the first 2 years, I probably did 150 plus pop-ups. In stores, more than that, most likely more than that. But I know I'm probably at like 300 right now.
And with Uncle Nearest,
with Uncle Nearest.
Oh, wow.
Like this is with Uncle Nearest, because that story had to be known, because there were some things that, you know, people didn't know about the story. You know, there was some confusion about who Jack was and who Nearest was.
And can you share that story for the people watching? We're going on the assumption that people know.
Right.
What's the Uncle Nearest story?
Well, the Uncle Nearest, I'm gonna give you a piece of it, right? The Uncle Nearest story is basically this. The bottom line is Uncle Nearest is the first African American master distiller on record, period. He taught Jack Daniels how to distill whiskey. Jack Daniels never owned slaves. Jack Daniels wasn't a slave owner. In fact, he was probably 10 to 15 years younger than Uncle Nearest, Nathan Nearest Green, right? And that both of those families in Lynchburg were pretty much family. You know, they were pretty much prominent families, and that's pretty much the story. If you want to know more about that story, we have it on our website, and it's narrated by Jeffrey Wright. We all know who Jeffrey Wright is, phenomenal actor. And you can get
Peoples Hernandez and Shaft.
Yeah, yes.
Also, let's see what else.
He played Martin Luther King. He played Basquiat.
Yeah, he played that. And then like what else is a big role from Jeffrey Wright? He was in something on Netflix not too long ago, but a heck of an actor.
And he does a patient job telling that story to where you can't misinterpret it.
Yes.
So, you know,
a heck of a voiceover.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's not like he's not as famous as I guess you say Morgan Freeman with voiceovers, but you hear the voice and you recognize
the voice. You definitely recognize, and he, like I said, he does an excellent job. And I think to get the real clear picture of what it is because of the way he tells it, I think I usually send people now. I send them out to our website to get that full story.
So before that story, you're going, and you said 150 locations plus
telling this story, and that's just
over the span of how long?
And I think 150. I did that before 2020. That's from 2019 to 2020 because Uncle Nearest had just came to Michigan.
Now, for people that don't know, and that definitely shows your hip hop connection because that's the in your face old school hip hop promotions.
Come on, man.
As you know, my man. OG, I need to get him back. Bush Small would say, man, we had new records. We had to go to projects in Chicago and Baltimore, pass out vinyls because the kids needed them. It's the pull-up culture.
That's how I got my first Technicolor album. Somebody handed it to me in person.
Like, here you go.
Here you go. Yeah,
it's something about that energy of people being in your face. And that's like the hip-hop spirit to me. But we're working those locations. I did a campaign with my album If Detroit Were Heaven back in 15. My friend Sterling was like, do 43 and 67, like 43 dates or events or different things over the pan of 67 days. That shit can get tiresome,
man. Exhausting.
Hard work,
exhausting.
But you still got to interact with people because you campaigning on behalf of like your product, your creativity, your album, whatever it is you're working on. In that short span of time, you know, sometimes you're going to hit a crowd where you go a place where it's 1,000 people. And you think, wow, this would be great. But in that 1,000 people crowd, you may only connect to like, you know, 15. And then you may hit a crowd where it's only 10 people, but you actually get a chance to give the breadth and the depth of whatever your story is. And then now they almost become advocates. So it's basically turning over every stone. Every stone.
I went from my connects from the Fillmore to the gas station. You understand? I mean, from the gas station, the group in my neighborhood, just having those conversations. Because I know he got people. I know he got cousins. And I know if me and him got a relationship, he gonna take me to his relationships. I mean, you know, I've been fortunate enough, you know, I've been in the entertainment business a long time. I've developed relationships a long time.
And that's where I tip my hat to you, because to be somebody with the experience in this game, but to still go out and come from the ground up of what we call and shout out LaRock Bullock too, but street team marketing.
Street team, baby. Yes.
To do that, because that's the hard work. You know, usually we think we get big enough where we're not gonna
we ain't on the street no more. You know,
you want to pay somebody else to work the street.
But I think for starting out with Uncle Nearest, it was like they needed to talk to me. I needed to introduce myself in this brand this way, and coming from that background with events and promos and all that kind of thing, it helped me navigate through, because I can assess a person. Right, I can walk in and assess that owner or that person, see how he vibing with me, and then know what to say to him. How do I get his attention? How do I get on the other side of his door? Right, when he's behind that counter, how do I get behind the counter? Because once I'm behind the counter, that's a sold product. Right, because that's an invite. Now, if I'm on this side of the counter and he don't invite me on the side of the counter, I got to come back to that. I'll get you later. You still on the list? I'll just get you later. I just have to come. I know I have to come on a certain time. And it's just energy. How do I get you back? And I'll get you back.
And liquor is even different than music, for instance. Because like with music, I can go hip to hip. You know, liquor, well, I guess you sort of could come out the trunk and sell it, but you're gonna get shut down.
You're gonna get shut down immediately.
It's not like MC Hammer dancing in Oakland.
And it's a controlled state. You know, Michigan is a different state than other states. There are some states where some of our reps can literally take the liquor and sell into the store and have the liquor in the trunk. Not here.
Yeah, and that's where like even requesting, like I say, I've learned from my friend Mike, and then through him I met, you know, as people know, I also cool with my man Tony with Cabresto tequila too. You know, as people know. And then you also learn the art of these liquors too. Like tequila specifically needs to be grown in the agave region of Mexico to be an official tequila.
You can't grow that on the east side.
Yeah.
That can't you can't
it
say
can taste the exact same.
Yeah.
You can have the agave plant.
Yeah.
But it's not an official tequila. Just like cognac needs to be from a certain part of France to be recognized as a cognac. So like I've learned a lot of this stuff, you know, where it's like if it's not a cognac, they're gonna call it a brandy. Hence, Ciroc has a brandy where it's like, damn, this tastes like Hennessy. It's like, well, a brandy technically is a cognac, but it's not from the cognac region of France. So it's not going to be honored like a cognac.
That's right.
So like you learn these different things, these different rules, and you build this up, but you're really building up a campaign to get me to go to my liquor store and bug the hell out of my liquor store to be before it's like, come on, let's go on and buy a case.
That's right.
And then even if my liquor store wants to buy a case, the liquor supplier now needs to go on and get the case too, which needs to be cleared through the Michigan Liquor Authority. Like it's steps
oh man, it's
in
crazy.
The liquor process.
It's crazy.
Like it's almost like 3 steps before you can just get to the crib and have a cocktail because it's, you know, it's Sunday and you grilling or whatever. It's not as easy as, like I say, when you are music, you know, when it's music, it's like, oh, you want the CD?
Yeah.
Bam.
I can pass it to you directly, but not this. Nah, you have to order it through your store. I mean, and I think my strategy was, I did, you know, we're downtown. This is our area, East Side, downtown Woodward. That's us. We own that. We run that. No matter what nobody think, the people like us are very familiar with our surrounding. Between Jefferson and the Boulevard, Jefferson and 8 Mile. So we have events downtown, like major events at these clubs, at the River Walk. I mean, the River Days, Smoke on the River. Shout out to my man Will Smith at Duels. All those things bring people from all over Michigan, right? So if I got 2,000 people from 25 different locations and areas, they got my card, I imprinted my personality on them, and they're gonna take it back to their neighborhood store and like, yo, I had this at this event. Do y'all carry it? Now that's gonna prompt that retail person to call, because they're gonna have my card, right? They're gonna hand that person my card, and he's gonna call the distillery and order it. Then I'm gonna go see him because I keep track of who ordered, and I make it known. If you order and you haven't seen me, I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna introduce myself to you. I'm gonna bring you a gift, a T-shirt, a jar or something, and we're gonna start a relationship because I want you to continuously do this. I don't want this to be a one-off.
School, and really, in a lot of ways, this was after you get from hip to hip. Yeah, it was the mom and pop record stores, as they say, kind of like supplying them. Yeah, it's being, shout out another music person, OG Godfather Tyrone Bradley.
TB, yes,
you know,
absolutely.
So it becomes a business in liquor, like I say, because it's the state has to approve the liquor being sold, and then the liquor needs to be supplied by official suppliers. Yeah, and then those you have to order from whatever supplier you have as a liquor store or bar. Yeah, and now you got your liquor. Now
the customer got it. Yeah, but I think for me, I hit them so many different ways because we come from that. Yeah, I hit you with the customer. Yeah, and I'll hit you with the retailer. Now the customer is bugging the retailer bugging the distributor. The distribution is bugging the distillery. Now it's like, what are we doing? What's happening over there?
Why does Detroit want so many of these purple? Yeah. Why does Detroit want so many of this Prince albums?
Yeah, right. What's going on?
What is going on?
I need to go see them. What's happening, right?
Yes, it's like, what are they doing here? It's like, oh, it's Mojo.
Right. I think for me, and I didn't find this out until, and it was when my VP, shout out to Chuck Concrete, he told me, we had a meeting in January, over the phone. He was like, you know, you did in 2019 you did this amount. He said, but you just did 5 times as much as the first year. Wow. And he was like, he said, that's incredible. I'm like,
I know I bought 2 before the official close.
Yeah.
My friend Amel was even mad. She was like, I was gonna buy you that foot. I was like, yo, I saw it. I saw it first in Harbortown.
Yeah.
And then I saw it over at the liquor store that's black owned. Yeah. Alex White.
Liquor Basket. That's Liquor Basket. Yep.
It's right next to the Better Made Factory.
Yep.
If you are a Detroiter and know anything about the East Side,
yes,
you should know that.
Yes.
Just driving down Gratiot.
Absolutely.
It's like right. And when I say it's right next to Better Made, it's not like a
Fago. Is it Fago? It's Fago.
Fago. Yeah.
Next to Fago.
Yeah,
next to Fago. Yeah.
It's right next.
And you can't. It's connected to Fago.
Yeah,
literally.
that's what I was gonna say. It's like literally right there. Like it's not down the street, around the corner. Not
it's right there.
The hood version of right next to it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's right there. It's in the same. Yes, the buildings are interjoined.
Yeah, shout out to them. And we did a couple tastings over there. We did one with Uncle Nearest and then we one with Duke and Dame. The Duke and Dame, I think Uncle Nearest we sold 28 bottles in 2 hours, and then the Duke and Dame I think we sold 43 bottles.
And let's talk a little bit about that too, because the pricing for it, as people may. I don't know how many people, indulge and buy spirits, and what you're going to buy. But the fifth it's not your, it ain't bottom shelf liquor prices.
No,
this
not
is
at all.
Plastic bottle prices.
Nah. This is premium liquor, baby. This premium liquor. This is those who like cigars, this for connoisseurs and those who enjoy things that are good, right? Mm-hmm. It's nothing against everybody had their choice. It's about really choices. Yeah. One day you might want to pick up
plastic bottle.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I use it with a customer because he sent me an email upset. Like, this liquor is not for black people. I said, I don't know any liquor that's specifically for a group of people. I said, but it's like sometimes you want to indulge in something different. I said, Tuesdays at Club Celebrity, they got $2 lamb chops, right? Yeah. And they excellent. $2. Yeah. But at Sloppy Chops on McNicholas, they $45 every day. Yeah. So one day you might enjoy Celebrity, and the other day you might I'm gonna go ahead and spend that $45 at Sloppy Chops. Yeah, right. And for these 3 or 4 chops.
And we can even unpack that a little bit as B Scarab, like tying so many conversations together. Yeah. You can tell me and Lazar, like when we connect, we may connect every so often, but our minds just that creative energy flows. Yeah. But it's a lifestyle.
It is.
Like when we think of a premium liquor or wine or spirit, like it becomes like a lifestyle brand. Yeah. Like you say, not every day. You're not every day. Really, you're not supposed to be drinking liquor every day anyway, right? So, but in that lifestyle pieces that you have, we remember as kids, our family had,
Fridays was this certain day for this type of thing. You could splurge. Yes. Through the week, you got to eat what's on the table and what's in the refrigerator. Whatever mama cook is what you got to do. Yeah. On Friday, she going to give you that option. Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, Coney Island, whatever that is. Right? And that's you consider that like, wow, that's great because I ain't got to eat sweet peas, mashed potatoes, and chicken, right? So that's a splurge. It's the same thing with any liquor, not just whiskey, champagne, cognac, everything. One day you may want that Seagram's gin, right? What was the bubble face, right? You might want bubble face. I don't know. Yeah. Then one day you might want something else, Bullock. You may want something. It just depends on what your taste is.
And so when we think about these premium liquors, what's the difference as we develop our palate? Because it's hard to try. You're buying good whiskey, you're spending $60 a bottle. Yeah. So like, how do we know? And then also, so you guys know, a lot of that also is taxation and how things work in the state too. Yeah. But how do you know what's good, what's not good? And then, like you say, our taste buds are our taste buds. Yeah. But still, like, how can we tell what's the process of it, of what a premium liquor is versus a liquor that's,
I mean, I think in short, is the age. It's really when you age something it's like as it aged, the more valuable it is, right? The process itself, like Uncle Nearest is processed through a process that's like no other. It comes from if I'm saying it correctly, it comes from a process out of Africa. So you don't get that in no other whiskey because they don't know nobody really knows what that true process is, right? So it's about age, it's about quality of elements in that process, in that recipe, and I think that determines the price. I don't honestly know why certain brands are as high as they are, but that's just the price. If somebody gonna pay $300 for a bottle, and 1,000 people doing it, then why would I change that, right? So I think with some of these brands out here, it's the quality of products and things that they use in that product. You know?
Okay, and what has the reception been as you go around and introduce, especially our people, black people, to liquors that are black owned?
I think I can get into that. I mean, we had an event, Taste Black Spirits, the first one, March 22nd and 23rd, and it was phenomenal, right? It was and we called it the introduction. So we introduced a couple hundred people to these African American owned, to 32 African American owned brands. It's 130 total and growing, but we introduced to 32 of them, and the response was excellent. I mean, now they have options. Now they're in the know. Now they understand, like, wow, I got Icarente, and it has a what is that one they like, the not the Blanco, not the Respirado. What is that? The most expensive one. They love it, so it matches something they used to drink, right?
You mean like the Neho?
A Neho, thank you.
Yeah, because people right now is like, I want some Neho.
Yeah, that's like a fancy thing now. Yeah. But see, again, we forget that we make everything famous. Whatever we stamp on, that's what's famous. That's what it is.
Neho, Blanco, these are tequilas. I know that kind of because of Tony, and he was explaining, like, okay, you know, because that's another one of the things too. As you get older, like I even told Tony had to sell me. I was like, yo, man, I stopped drinking tequila when I transitioned to 30.
Right.
But my idea of tequila was 1800. No offense to the people that like 1800, but I think I had enough 1800 to say let's not do that again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And then I tried a different tequila, and it's like, the taste can be smoother. This can be cut different. Like, it's not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
and that process. See, 1800 and those other brands. I think even Tito's. Tito's is like, you get a half a gallon of fucking Tito's for less than $50. Half a gallon.
Yeah.
Right. So I've never had it, but you understand, it's like that's not a quality, or I shouldn't say quality. That's not a premium brand.
No.
As far as the other brands that they like, I'm gonna go back to Icarenta, right? Yeah. That Anejo brand, that's a great drink. I've had it, and I'm not a tequila drinker. It's just the smoothness of it.
Yes.
And then there's another one Puffy is a what's that called? De Leon, I think it is. It's a great taste, and I've had that 1800 you talking about. I'm like, I'm like, I can't drink that no more. Yeah. And then when you tequila, period. Then when you do taste these smoother versions of what tequila probably should taste like, right? For our palates, right? You're like, oh, okay, that's great.
Quavo, it's a different,
you
know, and definitely for people watching, it's like, yes, you can tell we have been in nightlife industry.
Yes.
So like nightlife itself, I think, puts you adjacent to a lot of liquors.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so you're trying different drinks. Absolutely. As drinks add to lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we know, really the roots of these things come from, they call them spirits because in Africa originally different spirits were called to emote different things. So like the different elixirs would, it would be like a rum for this.
Yep.
A brandy for that, and so forth and so on.
Yeah. I've had a 105-year-old person tell me, my question was, well, how do you live so long? And she simply said, a shot of whiskey every day.
Hilarious.
And that was her fact. Like, and I'm like, how can I contest it if she's 105?
I think people, especially like, the benefits of wine. I mean, so much of everything in life is moderation and knowing where your limits are.
Yeah.
But when we think about the lifestyle brand, even with like cigar culture that caught on,
it's catching on even heavier now. Like, it's every year is becoming bigger and bigger, and you have African American. For instance, the gentleman that Jason Armstrong, shout out to him, Den of Thieves whiskey. He has a cigar brand coupled with that. So and then you have I'm not sure. I'm sure now. Petty Cash on Livernois is a shout out to them guys over there, Rufus and them. It's a cigar lounge also, built from the ground. So that cigar thing and pairing it with whiskey and certain cognacs it's a lifestyle. In
that lifestyle, what have you seen as this kind of goes into different experiences of the black experience for these different brands? Like, what have you seen for the fashion show versus the you know, the like I guess the celebration. What are the spirits that you see people kind of gravitate to, and what are the black-owned liquors that complement that?
Right. I think for Detroit specifically, the introduction now, and we'll come back to this at some point because now I've just really introduced it to them. Yeah. They're very aware of Uncle Nearest, and they're becoming aware of Duke and Dane, right? So those are my starter points. Now, we all know that Snoop Dogg has a gin. We all know that E40 has a lovely wine, tequila, cognac. So those brands, I don't specifically represent directly, but I push those brands as well as everything else because my agenda is getting people to understand and know that African American brand have quality brands out that you can also try or even switch off from whatever it is you're drinking, right? Yeah. But my total agenda is to get these African American owned brands that are not readily available in Michigan to become available in Michigan. I've been talking to one of our major distributors here and talking to them about collectively approaching, they don't even have to approach these brands because I brought these brands to their front door. Mm-hmm. So here's what I got for you collectively. I need you to have this conversation and bring these brands in as a collective. That way you're not just walking one in at a time. This is what you have. And that's that's not just historic for that distributor, but it's historic for our culture and the spirit culture of black brands.
And when you talk about the spirit culture, I guess we need to look at, you say people are receptive, people are learning, but also just for you in general. Yeah. What's next? What do you see if you collectivize that? What's going to be next for the moves of marketing the black spirits here in a black city?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the black spirits legacy. I started that because that's a fact for me. Like, we have a legacy. How do we fulfill that? And what angle are we using? Now, with these spirits, we all enjoy most of us enjoy spirits at some point in our life. Most of us. Mm-hmm. The agenda is I have the distro is what I call it. Is to be at the Garden Theater. It's September 29th. Wow. And that again will bring, and it's a larger event for African American brands. I'm expecting at least 80 brands to come out to that, and it's not just sipping and tasting. It's conversation. It's like a panel, and again, I'm inviting retailers, store owners, restaurant owners to get to be in this environment, to have and the founders of these brands will be here for this one. We had 6 founders come last time, but I'm expecting at least 30 to come to this one, and that is a 2-day field. The founders and owners come on the 28th, so it's a 2-day event. The founders and owners get press, media. We have discussion with distributors and stores and restaurants. That's the first event, and then the public event is introducing it to the mouths of our Detroiters, our way makers, everybody that has a hand and making and helping push our agenda. And it's a lot of us. There's a lot of cats out here. I'm talking about all those cats, Rico and all them cats that promo that come behind us. These younger cats, right? They do promos at Society, at the Mix, at Minis, at Floods. All these young cats, man, that's coming up doing this thing. So they're a part of my agenda. Like, I need y'all to take these to those places where y'all frequent, where y'all give a party every week, or y'all have something, even the joints in Greektown. Like, I need this in there, and y'all have a way in. I need y'all to break this in there.
Yeah,
so that's the ultimate goal, is to get these brands readily available in Michigan at all these venues and restaurants and stores that we frequent, that we spend billions of dollars in. Right. This is black. I'm all black everything. And I mean that. Like, that's not something I'm just saying. Like, I really mean, I live that. Shirts, hats, shoes, socks, brands. Everything I wear is mine. So, that's the agenda.
And seeing that expand, and congratulations on that. Detroit is different. Definitely going to be in the mix there.
For sure. 100%.
As that connects, getting through some of the red tape with that can be a daunting task.
Yes.
As like I say, I've done different events,
Yes.
and then it becomes one of those things where it's like, hey, I give you as a liquor sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
But then now you got to talk to the bar, and it's like, well, if you giving all that free liquor away, ain't nobody gonna really buy our bar, and that's how we make money. Like how we work this out. Knowing those agreements and then the equity that comes from it. But if the people truly request it, so much can be given.
Absolutely, because the people. I mean, we not an army without the people. We just a person. You know, your army is people. So in order for us, I move as a people, not as a one. I move as a people, and I think I've established enough relationships in this game or in this city to where even talking to the Garden Theater, it's a partnership. This ain't me and this ain't you. This is us. As long as I get you to thinking like a collective and like a us, you'll understand the ultimate goal. And it's not just about money. Money don't motivate me.
Yeah.
You know, getting this shit done is where's my focus at.
And in getting it done, what are some of the ideas of getting some of those brands to invest more in Detroit or being around? Like, how does that happen? How does distilling happen here more so? Because these ideas, I'm sure, eventually expand where that industry comes. As we're watching a whole, I don't even know what, I can't even explain what's happening with the cannabis industry in Michigan.
Oh my goodness!
I'm watching a lot happen in reference to that. Let's just say that,
man.
And liquor, in the same world of, like, you know, cannabis is part of a lifestyle. Yes. Liquor is part of lifestyles too.
Yes.
What, you know, how do we welcome in more industry of that in black distilling and so much?
I think being considerate about what it really is. It's one of those things where it goes well with a 5-course meal. And what I mean by that is, certain things go well with certain things. You know, you wear a bow tie, you expect it to wear a jacket. You know, a tuxedo jacket, you expect it to look a certain way and feel a certain way, so you wear that. And when you're in a tuxedo, you're not gonna drink a 40 ounce. You're not gonna walk around with a 40 ounce in your hand. You're gonna walk around with a certain kind of glass in your hand, be it a rocks glass with just Uncle Near's over neat, right, or a champagne glass. So it's about what goes with what with this. And I'm with you with the cannabis industry is ridiculous here, right? But I think, as always, getting people to know and understand, like, vibe with this. It's the same vibe. Like, those things, those other brands that we're not connected to, that have their own legacy, that we built their world. We solidified their legacy for them for 200 years going out from here.
I've seen Cavassier sponsorships and maybe going to like an event here and there. And that partnership with people like, definitely Shed and people that have moved, Macon, Darnell Macon and different people. But I think that was more like a partnership after the fact, as opposed to like building from the ground up. Right. And that leverage, like you say, we're ground level. I'm on the ground with these brands that are trying to become aware of, like Island John, right? Island John is an excellent vodka. Excellent. The reviews on Island John vodka this past event was through the roof. Phenomenal. It matches and does better than any other vodka out here. I'm saying that, and I'm not a vodka drinker. I'm going off what the people say, what those people that got the money say. Hey, how can I get a case of that? And these are customers. These ain't stores yet. Even a couple of the stores, like, how do I get a case of that? How can I get a couple cases of that? He's on his way. We're trying to expedite that, you know, but that's not my position to expedite it. I can only influence it. I can definitely influence it. And that's how I use what I'm capable of doing. I'll just put my influence on it. And because I'm trusted in all industries here as far as entertainment, then it may move. It's about utilizing what you can do, what I can do, and pushing the agenda. Like, hey, this, I believe in, you should be working with Detroit is different, and this is why. I don't have to give a long story. It's be based on me saying it to you, should help you move it around, right? Now that definitely leads to that type of buy-in to as they call it, maybe guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
Street team marketing.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the person to person campaigning for a product or a service.
Yes.
How do businesses develop that type of trust? Because it's tough. People know that it's needed, but that seems to be a very tough thing to find a person with that type of commitment. How do businesses vet someone that provides the services you provide? How does that relationship build? How do you get in business where you trusting, where you're shipping, especially if you states away, like you're shipping, thousands of dollars worth of promotional products, to expand your brand, What are the metrics? And I know people always say like, well, you just decide what goals are and then you validate it, and it's like it's more to it. Like, what does that look like? How do you develop?
Hey, I'm from the east side of Detroit, man, and all my mentors are 20 plus years older than me. When I say these dudes come from a certain way of life, you know what I'm talking about. They come from wearing suits every day, Dobbs and fedoras, pool hall game. All I'm talking about, they lock, right? So they teach you a certain kind of way of doing business, right? And what I mean by that is, if how I get your trust, how I got a trust of one of the specific liquor companies is, I'm like, okay, I'll buy it, ship it here, and then you just reimburse me. Now I done already initiated, right? And that's unfamiliar to people. Like, what, you gonna do? What? Yeah, I'll take care of that cost. Then you get me and catch me up later. You can catch me up after the event. And now that's because of that. That's like, okay, why would he do that if it's not for real? Why would he do that if his intentions are not aligned with what he's saying? Because I'll take that fear out of your head. I'll remove that doubt away from you, because I don't have time for the doubt. I'm about movement. I'm about getting it done. And if it takes me to initiate this in order for you to believe that this is going to get done, then I'll do that. And that works for me, it works like, I don't do that with everybody, but selective few, it's like, let me show you. Right? I sent the partner of mine to Toledo to pick up a case and they reimbursed me later. It's like, yeah, I'll go get that. Don't worry about it. And they're like, really? Yeah. Because I'm about building. I'm about, let me remove your fears that you only have in your head, because I don't have any. I see the finish line. I'm already there waiting on you to catch up. Whatever you are and whatever you're doing, I'm waiting on you because I already see it. If I believe in you, if I say I want to do business with you, that means I believe in you. That means I'm going to take you everywhere I'm going when you're ready to go. Now, if you hesitate, that's not on me. You hesitate. I don't hesitate. So
that's like that classic scene of Scarface when he gets chopped. Well, Scarface, obviously a very violent movie.
Yeah, it's very violent. Like we're not condoning the violence.
83.
Yeah.
But, at the time, Tony Montana's partner is murdered in the Colombians. Yes. And then he's like, "Yo, man, so you got the money and the drugs?" He's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you both back. Yep,
that's exactly what that is.
It's like down for the cause. Like,
that's it. Go. I'm down for the cause. I'm down for the long game, short game. It's a difference between business and licks.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what a lick is, it means a quick thing. So I don't have time for licks. I did licks when I was in teenage years. You know what I mean? Hit a lick. Oh, I just hit a lick. Yeah. They don't last long because it ain't nothing but a lick, right?
Yeah.
I'm about doing business the long game. If we're going to establish something, I'm going to establish in the beginning of who I am. You're going to know who you're working with in the beginning.
Yeah. Now, I definitely want you to unpack this a little bit.
Yeah.
Because as a client gets the opportunity to learn more of who you are, and this is something my dad always says. He's like, the dynamics of a relationship. My dad always speaks on that. He says you want to make sure that you have good dynamics in that relationship. And when you change the dynamics of the relationship, whether it becomes more personal or more friendship or more, if we develop a trend where, now I'm picking up the phone at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I've just now developed a pattern. That's like one of the things my dad says. Like, you almost are not training or conditioning, but I don't know what other term. You're developing whatever the boundaries of this business relationship
you're establishing those boundaries,
by how you start.
Yeah.
Because if I start where it's like, hey, man, I got the money for you, but you got to meet me over here at 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
A year from now, when when you want to get paid on that invoice, guess what you're going to be doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait for it to 11 o'clock at night.
Exactly. And it's like, oh man,
No.
you want to be getting up out your bed.
Yeah.
You know, you watching the playoff game, and it's like, oh man, now I gotta drive all the way out here to Royal Oak and meet somebody, and I gotta put on to go out night clothes, and I'm just picking up a check. But you know, I can't just pick up a check, so now I gotta sit for a second, get some chicken wings,
grab some chickens,
yeah. And now I'm like, oh man,
I think it's establishing what the dynamics are for me is simple. I kind of talk them through it. Like, this is what's gonna happen with this, and this is, as far as an agreement, this is what my agreement is. Like, I have a standard agreement with different businesses already printed and ready. I just got to fill them in, right?
Yeah.
Again, like, we've been doing this so long. We've created.
Like in this, like, let me tell you, as I'm joking, like the reason I'm joking about this now is because I've been that guy that's picked up the check where it's like, oh man, why am I driving over here? It's late, or people calling late, and it's like, why are they calling me this late? Like, it's like, oh, I didn't establish the right.
That's right.
I didn't establish the right boundaries. I didn't build this relationship the right way.
Right.
And even with the agreement, sometimes I've learned I can't even necessarily rely on the contract, because the contract's on paper as like, really, it's like a step one. But if I'm not honoring the contract, it's like the laws in America.
Right.
If I don't honor the contract, damn near everything in that contract is out the window.
Yeah.
You know,
facts.
if you know,
facts. That's a fact. I think, and for me, I only do business when the energy right. You know what I mean? If I don't get a sense, and I'm at that point in my life, because I didn't somebody got me for 50 plus at some point in my younger days. I done experienced that
really. Early in business, you can just take a loss of $100 depending upon where you at. And that feel like,
ooh, yes. Ooh. Because how do you explain that in your head when you know you're coming in at 100%, like, I'm down, and then that happens, right? Yeah. Then you like, okay, was I showing some kind of weakness? What prompted a person to be able to do that?
The great Charlie Murphy said in the Rick James skit, like, I guess I'm that one to steal them. You start questioning. It's like, look in the mirror, like,
that's what I say? Is that what I'm saying? Yes. Am I
projecting that I'm a sucker?
Yeah. Right.
Like, I guess I'm the person you can
right.
But then it's like, those are the lessons that really stick to you. It's like, okay, I guess that was a $5,000 lesson I needed to learn.
Absolutely. I never look at it. I tell people I never look at it as a loss. I've never failed. I learned what not to do. Everything is a lesson. If you can turn it around, you can be upset about it, or you can be like, you know what? Let me jot that down, or let me Rolodex that in my head.
And you definitely, depending upon where you at, because money is arbitrary, but depending upon where you at, if it was a lot of money, those are going to be lessons that you ain't even really going to need to take a lot of notes on.
At all.
You'll be like, oh yeah.
That's a self-noted.
That's 50 G's.
That's self-noted. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And again, for me, it's really about doing business. It's really about that energy. Like, fortunately enough, I think the way I live, me and my wife, I'm thankful to her. She really saved my life, and I'll get into that another time. Mentally, as far as our relationship goes, she's like that power pack that's always with me. And she brought so much, and I know I'm sticking here for a second. I thought I was going to jump out of this. I thought I was going to jump out of it.
I got another question in reference as you stay in there, because even in reference to that, as you say, like, you learn these lessons, because then you'll do business with somebody. Like, when people say, you got a reference for this, you'll do business with someone, but you've established certain boundaries where they may do business with me, and I'm like, oh man, but they did business with you and it worked smooth.
Right. So I think, just she keeps me sharp, sharper, because she's sharp as the man. She's sharp, iron sharp. Yeah. But I think, again, just is energy. I can feel people out now. I've awakened this higher self of myself, and I can, if it's negative, it can't live around me.
Wow.
Like, it doesn't. It evaporates in my space. That's a fact. Like, I don't even see it because it doesn't reach me. And what I mean by that is because I surround myself with I think I put out a certain kind of energy that only can draw that same type of energy back.
Yeah.
Now we may not do business today, tomorrow, next week, but we might do business next year because the energy is still there. The energy has its understanding. It just has not reached. It hadn't aligned on the same road yet. So I take my time. I trust my energy. I trust what I feel. I don't question what I feel, because if I immediately feel something different, then it that means it's different. That means it don't belong.
So within that, and that's deep too, because you're right. Your spirit is very I don't know if I want to use the term optimistic, but definitely creative and ambitious.
Yeah,
that's the term I want to say about what can happen. But then following it, like let's do it.
Yeah.
So with that type of attitude, hence that goes right into what you said. It's like I'm putting my money on the table now.
Yeah.
Bam, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, okay, well, damn, I guess I got to put my money on the table, or I'm gonna back away.
Oh, you gonna back
which
away?
Will actually reveal to you
that
obviously I'm not as committed as
That's
you
right.
in the first place.
That's right. So it either gonna start there or end there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's gonna happen. Either you're gonna start there, or it's not gonna happen.
So in learning this and in moving forward, because you run into people, I'm sure, like I do.
Yeah.
And when I say run into, there's me just in conversation.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is very sexy. I'm leaving a meeting this morning where we were talking, a new client, about how people look at entrepreneurship, generational wealth. Like it's like buzzwords that are talked about.
Yeah.
But then moving past the fears, because those fears are still real.
Yeah.
And having the guts to say, all right, like with my new project, a lot of studio, it's like, damn, I looked at it. I was like, yeah, this probably going to be about, 15.
Yeah.
We're crowdfunding for $7,500.
Right.
But it's like, I can put these other plays together and I'll get the rest.
Right.
Because I'm going to put up half if I want the people to put up half.
That's right.
And these are all seeds along the way, and it's lessons learned. But it's still one of those things where it's like, all right, where my money at?
Mm-hmm.
What bill do I pay? What bill do I not pay? What do I pull the credit card out for? What do I leave the credit card up? Like in budgeting this, and then it's like, okay, am I going? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, is it going to be peanut butter and jelly in July? Like, what's happening here?
And I'm okay with that though. See, that's the one thing is like, okay, what am I gonna eat? What's this gonna take place of? How is this going? Like you saying, like, is it gonna be that? Well, okay, cool. If it's gonna be that, then I'm cool with that, right? Yeah. I'll just get the crunchy. You know what I'm saying? I'll get strawberry jelly. I'll get grape jelly. You know what I'm saying? So it's I think for me, and again, this is over time, and this ain't overnight. This is over time. I mean, 20 plus years strong. I've created and developed some business in streams that I love to do. Yeah. So I don't complain about it. I'm just making sure I have fuel for all of them. I'll take every success that I consider a success in my entire life, and I just use it as fuel. I don't go get anything out of my past that I can't fucking do nothing with.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing with nothing sad. I can't do nothing with something that made me want to crack somebody upside the head. I can't do nothing with that. Yeah. The only thing that I can use from my past is those things that I consider successes. I consider being one of the only cats from Detroit downtown doing a Super Bowl, having a club. I consider that a success because I don't even know I can't explain how I got that done.
Yeah, that's right. A phenomenal. Like, Super Bowls are so encompassing. It's almost like forget your contract, black man.
Yeah,
like this is a national thing that we're doing.
Yeah,
but the movement of people, like I remember, when we think about the strong energy of our people. A couple years back when Burt's was like in an array as Rockies was deciding what they were doing. I think the owner of Rockies Peanuts is also a heavy owner of a lot of property over there in East Market. Heavy. So people were like, man, what's going to happen with Burt's now that that's gone? It's like, well, Burt's is a staple.
Yes.
It's an institution.
Yes.
The Deering family is ingratiated in Detroit culture, specifically black culture.
Yes.
Where it's like, if you strip that away.
Yes. You're
going to be stripping away
it's
black folk from ever wanting to be associated with Eastern Market.
Absolutely.
So it almost like it supersedes some of the quote unquote, as we say, on paper stuff.
Yeah.
When you have the real connection and knowing, as you say, your successes, knowing your values, because in this war, my dad always calls business a war, but the warfare of business, we got things in our toolkit.
Yes.
And they got things in their toolkit.
Yes.
Because race is still a big factor when it comes to this business thing.
Huge. I mean, I'll share this with you real quick. It was funny. I spent a lot of time early on in 2019 with getting our product out of the warehouses. You know, it was a moment where I was in the warehouse and we were looking for 300 cases that couldn't be found. And I just couldn't leave the warehouse believing that. I'm a different breed. I come from a different way. So you can't just tell me that and I walk away.
Hip hop culture, like I said.
I can't let you tell me that.
Driving through Highland Park.
Yes.
Because a lot of this liquor is not far from here. Like a lot of the liquor warehouse is done right in Highland Park. Down the street from where Highland Park High School used to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
For people that know, you know, off Oakland Boulevard. You know?
So I spent 2 hours over there and I love the people that were on the ground floor. See, here's what I understand in any business. It's you want to connect with the people on the ground floor because they know everything. They watching everything. They don't have a problem spending 2 hours with you to find what, because they're not sure what happened.
Yeah.
So we end up finding it in a warehouse where they only kept promotional products.
Yeah.
Tucked away. You hear me? Tucked away. And I'm like, yeah, that's intentional. But I'm cool with that because I'm not regular. And what I mean by that, you can't just say that to me and be like, okay, well, let me go report this in. No, because I know it's here. And I'm recognizing what's happening. Because again, it's that culture. It's that way of thinking. We looking at it like, yeah, that don't even make sense. It's a difference if we talk about a case or two.
Yeah.
We talk about a whole pallet.
Yeah.
No, that don't make sense to me.
That's like an order that backs up the order.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you respond to things like that because certain things like that I'll deal with that people have seen, and it's good to know that it's other people in that spirit because it's like I'm not expending the luxury of time to even be angry at this.
Right.
Because the anger right now, it's like, yeah, am I an emotional person? Obviously. But it's like as much as I'm emotional, it's about getting through.
That's right.
It's Isaiah Thomas with
the
broken ankle. It's
That's
like,
right.
Yo, I don't have the luxury
That's right.
of having a broken ankle right now.
No.
So I'm about to hobble
That's
down
right.
the court.
I'm gonna finish this.
Bust ass.
I'm gonna finish this. I didn't ride out here to ride home with nothing. No, I'm gonna finish this because I know better than this. Yeah. And you know, and it's just one of those things where even coming in contact with certain people, when you having a conversation about African American owned brands, right?
Yeah.
Some people are cautious about saying it. Me, I'm not. For what?
No. Yeah.
Why would I be cautious about something that exists, right?
And then the face to face sometimes is even weird because it's a lot of as now we're getting into a deeper discussion where you know we're here now, but a lot of the white supremacy and racism is way more implicit than explicit.
Yeah.
So in a lot of the implicit things are the natural things that make us, because to me this is where the word diversity and inclusion, sometimes it throws me off because it's like to truly be inclusive, you have to culturally shift how things are done. But because it's not our world, it's not our culture.
Yeah.
Like just sitting in a warehouse where it's like, where's my stuff? And then it'd be like, well, come back down. Then one guy says, I don't know where it's at. Then the next guy comes and says, I don't know where it's at. Then the third guy comes and I don't know where it's at. That's a cultural shift where they expect the average person to just say, well, damn, they don't know where it's at. And they'll walk away. They don't expect you to sit there in your presence and almost be like the entity where it's like, damn, they didn't respond. I expected them to respond.
Right.
So now what's our response?
Right.
You know, I was in another meeting about like neighborhood development. And they were like, you know, how do we connect to Detroit a little bit more? And it was at the Renaissance Center. And I was telling them, you know, in my usual, like sometimes I get kicked out of groups and shit. In my usual me nature, I was like, yo, this is a problem. Yeah. Because y'all want to connect to Detroit neighborhoods, but me passing 3 security guards and needing a badge and a clearance and all that stuff, that's already going to disconnect a lot of people from coming here. Meaning like, even if I come here, I've already been disassociated from what it is. It's sort of like me inviting you to my family reunion where you passing all of my family members, you know, or the example I use, like if instead of a resume, you had to dance to get a job. And like, you know, you had to do the Arrow Flynn perfect. And they'd be like, what does this have to do with anything? And it's like, hey, culturally, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
So as far as I'm concerned, culturally, you know how the Arrow Flynn got a whole lot to do with you being on the east side of Detroit.
That's right.
So hit it the right way.
Hit it the right way.
And unless you hit it the right way, guess what? You can't be hired.
You can't be
and
hired.
people be like, that don't make no damn sense. And it's like, yes, that's how I feel
That's
about
how we feel.
your process.
Yes.
But culturally, that's your process.
Yes.
So like in dealing with this, and this is, you know, the microaggressions and white supremacy and racism, it's like we're unpacking a lot of things where this world is so designed where we have to function on multiple levels of still being ourselves, still being comfortable within our skin, knowing that engaging in that other world, it's like, no, I'm gonna sit here. I'm not thinking to the back in the back of my mind, because it's a lot of fears as a black man. It's like, I'm in this other place. I'm in this warehouse. I don't own this warehouse. They're gonna threaten me with calling security, and they could possibly call the cops. And then when the cops come, it's like, damn shit. I was just watching George Floyd last week.
Right.
Do I want to get shot over these cases of these are all the thoughts that are going on. Like, is it really worth that? I mean, shit, they possibly could have really lost it. Maybe I should call the actual distillers again. Maybe I'm off my game. But and to sit there in your own presence and be like, nah, fuck that.
Because I'm
about to sit here and I'm gonna deal with all of this stuff as they come. Security guard, come up. I'm gonna tell the security guard.
Walk with me. Yes, exactly. See, and that's exactly how that goes. I am assessor. I walk in. Once the first person said that, okay, let me get these 4 people to walk with me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one security guy. It's gonna be this guy named Matt. It's gonna be this one guy. Everybody's gonna move with me, and we're gonna have conversation outside of what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get you real comfortable, because I'm the only black person out of these whole 4 people. Yeah. I'm gonna get you real comfortable with who you are, but you're gonna feel my energy and like, I'm not fucking playing. Yeah. I ain't gotta say it. You gonna sense it.
But that sense just of being, as I always say, I mean, this, like I say, I didn't expect this interview to go.
Yeah. We hear that.
Just being a black man.
Yeah.
That's that presence of being a black man. It's almost like we're pit bull off a leash anyway. In most social situations.
Anyway.
Black dude, even for other black men, sometimes it's like, man, who is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, you walk into the gas station, somebody hit that corner. If it's a white guy, you be like, you know, a lady, another black dude, you be thinking like, you know, but depending upon how we trigger, how we see each other,
that's right.
But that same presence carries over because this has been indoctrinated in us through media, through stereotypes. Whereas we know, you know, we're understanding that we have that presence, but knowing how to deal with that, how to disarm that,
how to use knowing that, it's really how to use that thing you already have. Like, I walk with a certain presence. Like, I'm unafraid of any and everybody. It's like I have no fear in a person, an individual. But when I'm adamant about something, when I know something is something is supposed to be something else, you're gonna know it too, and you're gonna be willing to assist me. That's the energy. You're gonna be willing. I'm gonna put you on my team, and you don't even recognize that that's what's happening, right? Because most people had this script. Okay, if this happened, you say this. If this happened, you say this. But because like you said, because when they told me they couldn't find it, I didn't accept that. They're like, oh, I don't have nothing for him not accepting it. I got I got to do now. All you got to do is listen.
Levels of basically, I'm expecting him to turn around. And pack up and go home.
And me get back to this.
Usually what happens.
And that didn't happen. And because it didn't happen, it's almost like and once we found it, the true story is once they found it, I wasn't upset about it. I'm like, okay, I need this to go here, this to go here, and this to go there. I appreciate y'all doing this. Here go my car. Here go some tickets to this and tickets to this. Now I done opened, and at that time I was doing the Bad Boys 3 thing at the Imagine Theater, and I invited them all out because I know that you wasn't sure on how this was going to play out. Yeah. I know that you were stuck because you had did everything said everything you were supposed to say, and he didn't leave. Like, oh, that didn't get him out of here. Yeah. I actually showed you how to go the extra mile to get it done. Yeah. And I think, and I try to leave all good things with people. Like, I wasn't upset. I just knew better.
Yeah. And even with that, like knowing that in business, you're gonna do business with people you don't like.
That's
Likeability.
That's a fact.
I mean, in the packaging of how, like, I guess narratives are sold, and in the movement of which I support it, but I still think it's more personal. Like the mental health movement, which is harder sometimes for me to unpack because it's like mental health is definitely a personal.
Yeah.
It's a personal testimony. But when we interact with the world, I have to know that the world can engage me on whatever level.
That's right.
So, and I'm human. I could be triggered, but to know how to respond to my triggers.
Yeah,
to know that
man.
I can't get off my game.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be doing business with people I don't like.
Yeah.
If all I have
people
to do
are gonna
is
say
business
something
with I don't like. I mean, if I was limiting, who I interact with to people I only like. Shit,
that'd be 2
I'm
hours
not gonna be
out
able
the
to be
day.
in
That's
business.
it. That's right. You can't be in business if you're only doing business with 4 people.
Yeah.
Forever. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think as African American, as black men, as men living in Detroit, from Detroit, as businessmen, we grow. Now we're different than who we were at 20 because we know growth. We learned over time. We watched other people do business. We not adapted, but we found our lane on how to do. We know, like you said, we know we have to control certain triggers because people are going to upset us. What they do, what they say, because we don't necessarily know their intentions behind what they're saying and what they're trying to do. Are they trying to insult us on the slide? All these things you reckon.
Trying to play me like
trying
a
to play
sucker.
Right.
That's as people say, the reptilian brain, but that's the level of like being a kid.
Yeah.
It's funny when I go around guys and they always talk about like, oh man, I fought this and I fought that, and it's like, man, I ain't got into a fight in
oh my god,
decades.
Because,
like, I can't even see what that trigger would be.
Right.
But furthermore, it's like I can't. Like, what is the I have to, as in my entrepreneurship, I have to have an end game. I gotta have a end game. I gotta be thinking further down the field. I'm thinking touchdown.
That's right.
First down matters, and getting into play, all of that matters. But it's like I don't have time to think about
fouls on the field,
right,
fights on the field. You ain't got time for that.
I can't even really honor a lot of that. Yeah. So I'm almost dismissive. Sometimes people what happened, like one podcast, I got tripped and it fell down, and they was like, man, how did you just stay focused? I'm like, man, it was funny. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have time because I'm podcasting to even stop and really laugh because my podcast ain't where I laugh. Now, Josh's podcast, because it's comedy based,
that's
I'm
all
cracking
day.
up all time.
All day.
But it's like it's a focus that just exists where, those triggers I have to control. I got to know, I have to know what to process, when to process, exercising my presence of mind. And this is where I get into my mental health.
Yep.
So that I can move forward.
Yep.
Because if I break and go left, guess what? I don't know when I would ever come back and go right.
That's right.
If I allow myself to just be like, all right, forget it. I'm allowing them triggers to exist.
Yeah. And they shooting off.
Trigger. I don't know, from even the tone of text message.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I'd be like, what in the hell?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna keep it one and like certain. And I got 13 brothers and sisters, man. I love them all. I love them.
Yeah.
They can't call me with nothing negative. They can't have a conversation with such and such did this or this happened. You can't have that because I can't take none of that in. It don't benefit me. My mind is this machine that's creating, designing, and doing this thing. So if you input that, what am I supposed to do with it? What can I create?
Immediately goes to the recycle.
Yeah, that's it.
Computer, like,
delete. That goes away. Right. That's done. Because again, it's growing to understand the way you react is important, and is because it's a decision. Your reaction is a decision. You can choose. The world will have you thinking that at a funeral you're supposed to cry, go crazy, do this, because over time that's what people do. Then the truth is like, if you know that death is the only guarantee in life, then you won't really respond that. Now you can have your times where, and that's expected because it's love. It's grieving. You're going to have that. What I, for myself, and I can't speak for anybody else, and I'm getting into something. We going so heavy in so many different things, but it's right. We there. When my mother passed, my family thought my reaction was supposed to be their reaction. My mother had already prepped us our whole life for that moment. My mother lived a beautiful, great, exciting, music-filled life. I only can respond to that. Her life, how she lived it. I have pictures of my mother, and I think about my mother all the time. Those pictures just keeps me there with her. She's always here, right? So I wasn't the one falling out, crying, hysterical. I think what I did, I just played her song. It was Lionel Richie all night long.
That's what's up.
You see what I'm saying?
It's funny you mention that. Even when my mom passed, it was a similar experience where people were like, man, you didn't really break down. And I was like, I mean, I looked at it and it was surreal to walk into Henry Ford. I saw my dad, and that's a different relationship being husband. But my mom, we were on such a good, like we were on the best terms I've ever been with my mom when she passed. So I was walking into Henry Ford and I saw the way she looked, and just knowing my mom, I'm like, she's passed, because I know how much my mom cared about like presentation and everything. Yes, man. And when I saw the body and they said like she's still breathing, and I'm like, no, I know, because if my mom had any of her in her, that ain't happening. She would have wheeled herself. That's right. Like, give me that comb.
That's right. That's right.
Give me this. Give me that.
That's right. I ain't going outside. I ain't looking like that. I ain't about to be a mess.
So it's like all of those lessons, and then it like reconnected me to, and I already knew Ron and them too. Like she loved the dramatics. So now the dramatics take on a different sense of experience and listening to it and being there and even like it was tougher, and I tip my hat to my sister David you know, and or her husband David, my sister, and my dad, because just being there at the house, family was coming up, friends was coming up. That was heavy. I was there for a second, but I had to get back to my fortress of like, because you're right. Like in that emotion of grief, you know, a person, it's my mom, but they want to share in the grieving, where it's like my presence of mind kind of ain't there. I want to focus on these pictures. I want to focus on to make the program. I want to focus on the life of it. I want to focus on the connecting with my nephew, like to sit here and go over like and it's lessons I've learned and I walk with. Like first off, if I know someone passed, the what happened, why, and when, I'm now a person that I'm not asking any of those questions. And if I ever do, definitely stop me, because that whole, you know, we could have took her to this. And,
I ain't doing.
We got these roots.
I ain't doing that. Right.
Did this. You know, them people over at Beaumont did that shit to my uncle. Like I'm not trying to hear that, and I'm not trying to bring that energy to a person. Right. Because what can you do with that? Right. I'm not in that zone. That's personally. That's right. You know what I'm saying? That's I don't want, because I know that was the toughest to deal with my mom passing. It was the, you know, and these are people I love. And, you know what I'm saying? Like the what happened and how and when. And did y'all see something? And I was thinking last time I saw it, and it's like, yo, man, I'm not trying to
oh my God, I'm with you with that, because I mean, and shout out to my sisters. My sisters, they did an excellent job with taking care of all those situations. But again, for me, I think I'm more like my mom than anybody. And like kind of like what you said about your mom, is my mother being in the yard, fully looking beautiful, planting flowers. Like she was not, her presentation was solid. And I think I think for me, because me and my mom, we were very close. We had certain kind of conversations that I don't think none of my brothers and sisters were privy to, because me and my mother, we were very open. I used to take her every weekend shopping. Like that was a plan. I was on my calendar, and I still walk with my mother with her arm right here, right? And I think when it came down to it, I knew it, because again, I saw her become different looking, right? And I knew it. I saw it coming. So like I said, she had already prepped us for it. And then, you know, funny thing is, my mother used to always say when we were little, she was like, celebrate me when I pass. because if you don't, I'm gonna come back and haunt y'all. So it was,
and that's the experience that I would want to, and it definitely was a celebration because
absolutely.
Depending upon where a person is, but that even in grief, we all process things differently because it's your relationship with that person and your spirit.
Yeah.
Whereas I definitely am more that spirit is eternal.
Yeah.
The recent passing of Queen Mother, and that was like one of my big homies too.
Yeah.
But that spirit is still here with me.
Yes,
She's
indeed.
still in that path. She's still that creative energy as opposed to like the focus on how what could have been different. I definitely want the record be known. If I'm feeding tube and I'm barely, if my essence ain't creative, that's really what I am.
Come on.
If I'm not creative no more, then guess what?
Yeah.
Something's off with me.
Yeah, facts.
You need to pull that plug.
Then go ahead. I'm saying do it.
I see myself being 90 and still saying like, well, we can, I don't know by then. I don't know what's going to be going on.
Right.
We can take these VR virtual suits in 3D. And, black people can really,
we be back from the moon in an hour.
Yeah, exactly. We ain't taking advantage of these 3D suits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, like if I'm not in that zone, then something in my essence is lost.
Yeah.
And if my essence is lost in the physical, then obviously it's transitioning more into the spiritual.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, to top that off, and speaking of spirit, it's just like they're already around. When we're discussing that means they're in the room. When we bring them up, they're in the room. Yeah. My 10-year-old brings up my mother when we're watching something. She's like, Nana will have this on, have this, and I know she's present when we speak of her, right? Yeah. So when we're having slight conversations or we're reminded of them via song or via picture, via flowers. I mean, my mom was in the Homes and Garden magazine for years in the 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? So anytime I see flowers, she's there. She's going to be there. And I don't get upset. I just smile about it.
Yeah.
And because that's the decision. Like, her life was full and she gave me so much of her as far as the way I move and think is how she used to move and think. My mother owned a store for 15, 20 years. She was a hustler. This is what she did. So my thinking comes from the way she think, and I'm following her around. I'm right there with her. Like, I'm learning the whole game as we doing it. So I'm like, I only can salute and smile. I'm never upset. I'm never sad about it because she had so much life to give us. I mean, when you think about her, all I think about is like, man, I remember she had us thinking we was dancing and we was cleaning up the house. Mm-hmm. Like, she tricked us. Like, she tricked them. Listen to James Brown and
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, James Brown and Shame and Evelyn Champagne King. That was her joint. And she got us moving around. We washing walls and everything. At the end of the day, you like, oh, she got us with that.
Miyagi'd us.
Yeah, she Miyagi'd us. So, but
that's the wisdom. And I mean, even 360 back to where we started with, like the Uncle Nearest brand.
Yeah, man,
is something else that speaks to life. That at a while, people would talk. I'm sure that family know, but now it's expanded where it's touching your family.
Yes,
and it's going to touch other families.
Yes,
like, this is how
it's a true inspiration. It's a true inspiration,
and it lives beyond the idea of like, that casket closing being the end of what it is. Because now, today, Uncle Nearest is like a gateway for you in here and the relationship of others. And now you inspiring by other Black spirits. Like, it's only going to be that seed in the ground that continues to grow.
Yeah, that's a fact, man.
And those seeds create other seeds.
Absolutely.
Where you're like, damn, how did that,
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me, Kay, last time I was here, I had none of these on the table.
No.
We're talking about the film festival, which we still do, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't even see this coming until it happened, right? And when it happened, it just turned on another switch in mine, right? It was time to activate.
And where all of your skill sets of things you've done before, especially in music, like you were armed and positioned. As we always say, you're always learning lessons where your talents, it's like, damn, you're the right guy.
Yeah, man.
To do this.
Yeah, and right because when they mentioned me, I'm like, when they asked me, I'm like, why they asking me? You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm like, why they asking me? But then it clicked like, well, I'm sure they researched me. I'm sure of that. And that would be their ask, but I'm honored to even be a part of this whole legacy because, again, it's so inspiring to others and I get to share this inspiration and these ideas and these things. Like, you can do this. If this is what you want to do, you can pretty much do anything you set your mind to, and all you have to do is set your mind to it, and it'll show. Like, Uncle Nearest is the fastest growing African American spirit brand ever. Like, it's phenomenal. Won so many awards. We have our own distillery, which is opening back up Juneteenth, but it also allows other spirit brands like Island John, Den of Thieves, Red Hazel, all these brands, Duke and Dame, LS. It allows them to believe that they can do it too.
Yeah.
So it's not I don't know if I can.
And
it's
that's
just
where that legacy carries on.
Yes, that's it.
That's legacy carries on. We've been hearing our whole lives, like,
yeah, man.
They used to do that down there.
Yeah, and people like us, Kay, we don't never want to be, man, I wish I could have. I ain't never been him. I do. We do. We're the kind of people like, yo, I did that. We did this. We did this together. This happened together. I have uncles and friends down in my old neighborhood who still, and I love them. I'm blessed to still have them around, but they have this idea is like, this is all I was able to do. Yeah. This is all I can do is talk about what I wanted to do. You know what Jigga and Jay-Z said a long time ago? His uncle told him, you'll never make $1 million. He said, I made $1 million like 100 million times. Because all you have to do is believe in yourself, and then the universe will provide everything else. True. And we live in that. Like I said, I believe that I'm capable of doing everything I'm capable of doing. Yeah. And I just leave it in the air.
Always, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
As you guys see this around, we're gonna talk more as it gets closer. That's September, right?
Yes, sir. September 29th.
We gonna definitely be partnering more. And we're going to get these energies in the room. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And peace.
Peace. Appreciate y'all.
Detroit is Different is where you get information, artistry, history, music, and even comedy. Detroit is Different, a home for the culture of Detroit. Visit online at DetroitisDifferent.com today.